Hello, welcome to the Bearded Horror Review. My name is Dan, aka The Boogeyman, and on this show, I will watch a horror movie, either a classic or a new release, talk about some good points, talk about some bad points, if there are any of either, give it a rating out of 10 if I remember to do it, and let you know if I think the film is worth a watch or not, in my humble opinion. And on this episode, I'm talking about the new release of the latest Stephen King adaptation, The Long Walk. So let's talk about it.
You boys are the answer. The Long Walk is the answer.
Like I said, The Long Walk is the latest adaptation of a Stephen King story. I believe it's from his Richard Bachman era. Don't quote me on that, but if I'm right, I'll put it here. If I'm wrong, I won't. And it is set in a dystopian timeline or future. It doesn't really make it clear during the movie. At 19 years post a war that has devastated the American people and left them very kind of poor, there is a contest that is held every single year. It is called The Long Walk, where 50 young men over the age of 18 are selected to enter this contest, where essentially they just have to walk in a straight line at 3 miles per hour across America until there's only one of them left, and that one person will win a cash prize and a wish of whatever they want. Before we carry on, I am going to say I'm not going to spoil it in any way. This is going to be a spoiler-free review, but I do like to discuss things. So if you don't want to know anything about this movie at all, here is your spoiler warning. Go away, watch it, come back, let me know what you think.
Want to walk me a while?
Yeah, I do, Pete.
So yeah, when this came out, the trailer dropped. I wasn't really that impressed by the trailer, so I kind of sat back on this one. It's something I don't always do. I was interested in seeing it, but I had a lot going on, so I kind of sat back and didn't force myself to see it. I waited for some kind of reviews and what people thought about the film, and they said it was a lot better than the trailer made it look. So a couple of days ago I went to see it, and here we are. It took me 3 attempts to go see it, but I saw it. And I've got to say that the trailers do not do this film justice, because this film is not about a bunch of people walking and getting killed. However, that being said, there are some really good effects in this when the deaths do occur. I was surprised when I saw them that they were that gory and visceral, but they were there, and I gotta say that those effects were really good, really stood out, and they do try and vary the deaths in this film. I mean, that's the whole premise of it. 49 people are gonna die, so if you didn't know that, that's why I did the spoiler warning. It's deep. The main crux of this film is extremely actually emotional. All these young men are there for different reasons. Some of them are there for money, some of them are there for the wish at the end of it, because it will give them something that money can't buy. Some of them are there because they've got something to prove, and some of them are there because they've got nowhere else to go. So they may as well try. Before we carry on, guys, if you can leave a like and subscribe, it's a little thing for you, but it really helps out the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. In Stephen King absolute fashion, as you may know if you are a Stephen King fan, seen the films or read the books, the people are the real monsters. And this film is about how these people are interacting with each other on this walk. These 50 young men who are going on this walk, who says what, how they interact, the connections they make. And as you can imagine, it's a Stephen King adaptation, so there's a complete asshole of a person in this group who's just an asshole for no reason. The ramifications from his actions, everybody's actions.
Nobody wanted more than me. This is my chance to change things.
And this film, like I said, from what I can take from it, is not about surviving to the end to get the prize. This film is about the journey, not the destination. It is about the connections we make along the way. It is about seeing the good even in those bad things, and what we are willing to do to make it to the end of a journey. What does it take to make it to the thing that we want? And there's obviously a lot more things going on with this, but it's one of those where I would recommend you watch it to be able to see that for yourself. That being said, the film does suffer from its premise, because you've got 50 people on a walk, and that means 49 people are going to die. You can't introduce 50 people to our audience. Obviously, the main cast is usually it's mainly these two guys interacting with each other, and there's a couple of other people that are main kind of stays around them, but these are the main two guys who are in this film, and it's about their reactions and how they are dealing with what's happening around them. How are they getting through the hard moments?
I sort of like you three. Let's be musketeers.
Earlier in the film, when the deaths start to occur, the first one's a shock, and then they start to become less and less impactful. They do vary, the deaths, and there are some eye-opening things that happen, as you can imagine, on a journey where no one can stop, no one can rest, and some things might happen to people while they're doing that may cause their deaths. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but yeah. An issue I had with this film, it wasn't like a bad thing per se, but for me personally, the last about 30 minutes of this film are emotional moment after emotional moment after emotional moment. They kind of just don't stop. And eventually they become less impactful because we haven't had a breather from them. We haven't had a palate cleanser. So I started to feel a bit numb towards it. There's only so many times you can do rousing music with big speeches and, you know, tearful moments. When it starts to go, we've done this so long, I can't feel anything anymore. And that's one thing I found for me personally. I've seen people saying they were absolutely emotionally devastated by this film. Maybe I'm just heartless, or maybe I've seen things that are a lot more emotionally impactful and done better. Who's to say? But that being said, this is not a bad film. This is a good movie. Is it an exceptional movie? No, but it is a good movie. The character writing, of course, just like every other Stephen King adaptation, if it's done right, they are great. There are some great characters in this. However, there are some characters in this that I also felt were a bit one note, and, you know, it kind of led to some very predictable moments. There are also some issues with the script in this, with characters contradicting themselves, saying one thing about the walk and then saying that something else about the walk 10-15 minutes later, and then saying something else again, kind of switching on themselves. And if it was just general talk about the walk, fair enough, but it was about the motivations behind the walk and what they're willing to do and what they want to do. So that's your core character. If you're going to change that character note, it's going to be noticeable. Well, it was to me anyway. However, like I said, there are some great moments in this film, and it is a lot more emotional than people would think.
I'm proud of you, boys. You got fat.
I myself, I really enjoyed it. However, I think a second watch, it would not feel anywhere near as impactful. On top of that, so for me personally, it's a 6 out of 10. Well made, well crafted film. It was fine, it was entertaining. There was some good moments of practical effects and some really out of the box thinking when it came to the results and the deaths in it, because some other films just wouldn't attempt to do that. But this one did, it went there, it did it, and I really respected it for doing that. But yeah, that's my rating of this film, guys. I would recommend going and seeing it. But what do you guys think about this? Have you seen it? Do you want to see it? Any other Stephen King adaptations that you're looking forward to, or that you really love and you recommend? Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe on here on YouTube, and turn on the bell notification. And go follow me on my social media. I'm on Instagram and TikTok. All the links are down below. And if you want to help support the channel, I am on Patreon. It's literally $2 a month, and it helps me keep the lights on and keep things running. And yeah, until the next time, guys, happy watching.